What's up, guys? Lvladen here, and today I'm coming at you with a day one of the season, very short gear and rotation guide. So Ret just got nerfed pretty significantly. I don't think Ret's bad. I think we're just pretty mid at the moment. On Monday, they added one more tuning change, which was reducing the buff, the PvE buff to Final Verdict, from 30 to 15%, which means it's about like just over a 2% reduction in PvP, just because of that's how math works. But our mastery is pumping, our auto attacks are doing a lot of damage, and yeah, that's kind of what we have to go off of. So first thing I'm going to go over is the gear that I bought on day one. We actually aren't doing any we're not doing any bloody token gear. So bloody token gear this expansion is the same item level as honor gear. So if you have honor gear, you don't need bloody token gear. But if you are gearing up an alt, then bloody token gear can get you there. I crafted two pieces, or I'm sorry, I crafted three pieces, but two embellished pieces. I put devouring banding on my crafted PvP shoulders and my crafted PvP boots. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to my guide on icy veins. You can see the gear that I'm running. Nothing's changing there. I'm going to mess around with different enchants and gems. But the safe bet is just gemming for versatility at the moment and enchanting for versatility. But I'm going to test out mastery because I farmed a lot of gold and I'll do the science and we'll see what happens. I do think there is a world where mastery ends up being a little bit more important than verse because of all the damage nerfs to Ret. We really do need our Divine Toll one-shot. Which leads me to the next point, the talent setup. So I'm running something slightly different here. I'm running Execution Sentence and Judge Jury Executioner rather than Empyrean Legacy and Sanctify. Now Sanctify has synergy with Empyrean Legacy because we weren't Divine Storming to apply Sanctify for our Divine Hammer. We're just letting this go, but Divine Storm got a 12% PvE nerf and then, 15% PvP nerf on top of that. So Empyrean Legacy hits for almost nothing. It hits for like 5 or 6k damage. It's really, really, really low. So this talent is definitely not worth picking up. Auto attacks got straight buffed. Like they're actually doing quite a bit of our overall damage. They're like, if you get up melee uptime, they can be your second or third top ability with Zealot's Fervor. So I'm trying to take 2 out of 2 Zealot's Fervor where I can. And then still take Burnt to Ash because Burnt to Ash does modify your Divine Hammer quite a bit still. I'm taking only 1 point in Divine Wrath because the first point in Divine Wrath gives you 3 seconds where the second point only gives you 1 second. So you can pick this up. It's kind of a cool little optional node that we have here. And then I am still running Templar Strikes. I tried Crusading Strikes. I just don't like it. I don't feel like I need it. I like having less dead globals. And I think Templar Strikes is actually doing a lot of damage. So Templar Strikes did get buffed a little bit. And that buff did make it through in PvP. So it is doing more than before. The second Templar Strike I think is doing about like well, when I was at full honor gear, it was doing about 13k damage, which is it's not too bad. Or maybe about 11k, and then like a Templar's Verdict was doing like 13k. So yeah, that's about it for the talents. Not too much has changed. I don't think Herald is any good. I don't think Seal of the Templar is any good. I do think Divine Exaction is still decent. You can still burst if you get some crits and some mastery procs on it. So I'm sticking with that. Which leads me to the next point is the new rotation. So they finally bug fixed Execution Sentence to deal the full 20% rather than 10%. However, it's still not doing a ton of damage. So the way that I use it is to get a back-to-back Final Verdict. We also have a change in the rotational priority of Blade of Justice. If you're at 5 Holy Power and you just procced an Art of War and you're not on Global, and you're not in between casting a Hammer Blight and a Divine Exaction because you want to make sure those 2 cooldowns always line up, then you're going to straight up overcap on Holy Power instantly and send that Art of War proc because it does that much more damage, and it's worth not risking a back-to-back proc on autos, because those happen quite frequently. I've had 4 autos in a row trigger my Light Within at times, and it's not uncommon to get back-to-back on autos, especially during your burst, because your auto tech crits give you an increased chance from Art of War to reset your Blade of Justice and give you a Light Within proc. So it's really strong. So I'm going to show you the way that I've been bursting. So what we're going to do here is we are going to press... we actually don't need to pre-press the Judgment anymore because we don't have that Empyrean Legacy double consuming the buffs. So it's fine to just Blade into Wake. You can still Judge into Blade to apply the slow earlier, but it's really up to you. So I'll show you this way. Blade, Wake, Hammer, Toll, Blade, Final Reckoning, Verdict, Verdict, Hammer Wrath, Verdict, Hammer Wrath, Templar Strike, Blade, Final Verdict, and we had a little bit of a lag spike there. Blade, just Blade every single time it procs, and you're gonna do the most damage with your blades. I had one blade that I messed up because I was already in the process of pressing the Templar Strike Global, but just the blade procs are straight up your highest priority. You will always hit them, always, unless there's this one scenario where you already waked, you have your Hammer of Light ready, and your Divine Exaction is about to go off. That's the only time you'll hold your blade, because you want your Wake and your Divine Toll to line up as frequently as possible. Do not care about the Execution Sentence window. You're really only using this Execution Sentence to get the back-to-back Final Verdicts after your Divine Toll goes off. So again, I'll go over it one more time after I show you guys the damage breakdown here, but as you can see, Light Within is my top damaging ability, and it deals quite a bit of damage. On the PvP dummies, you actually, to my knowledge right here, you do not have the PvP modifier. There's no minus 15% on, or there's no negative 15% modifier on your spells here. So you can see Execution Sentence did quite a bit. The reason that I want you guys to not really care too much about hitting everything into the Execution Sentence is because if you focus on doing that too much in PvP, your go becomes super telegraphed, and you're not really, it's not optimal. Like, people are going to use their defensives. I don't want you guys to expect a big amount of damage from Execution Sentence. It can happen, but it's pretty rare that this ability does more than, like, 40 to 50k in PvP, which is, it's not nothing. It's not nothing. It happens, but I just say, like, expect it to do about 40 to 50k. On that rare occasion where you can absolutely pump into the target with ES on it, you could see it do as much as like 100k. That was the highest that I saw today, which is honestly, it's not bad, but that was against some noobs that really just let me blast into them with ES. Not typically going to happen. All right, one more time with the damage breakdown here. So, Blade, Wake, Hammer of Light, Divine Toll, ES, Blade, Final Verdict, Blade, Final Verdict, Hammer, Templar Strike, Templar Slash, Final Verdict. You'll notice I messed up the Blade one time there. Sometimes when you're just like in the process of pressing a keystroke, it's going to be delayed, but just focus on getting it out as fast as you can, because even in this example right here where I once again messed it up because we just got a surprise proc, our Light Within was still our top damaging spell. It's doing amazing damage right now. So make sure you're prioritizing that as much as you can. And I believe I missed 2 pieces of gear that I didn't talk about. That was I bought my belt just because I can put a gem on it. And then I also bought I crafted the ring so I could just add the Mastery Enchant and the Enduring Heliotrope right here. So, and the neck. I'm just trying to prioritize slots of gear that I can put a beneficial enchant, or a stat gem in. All right, I'll have more in-depth guides and whatnot coming out later this week after I've done more testing. because we've only done 7 games of 2v2 and 23 games of 3v3. Granted, I feel like that's a decent sample size, 30 games on day 1, not bad. All right, I'll see you all next time. Peace.
This is a night for gold zeros! Daisy!